Look, man, stop letting these fake $5 natives lie to you.
That hearing with her words.
I remember seeing my mom crying as she stood and watched 6 of her 8 children being placed on a big green bus and taken to Fort Totten Indian Boarding School in Fort Totten, North Dakota. That image is forever imprinted in my mind and in my heart.
Now, never mind the fact that when you pull up the Fort Totten School, everybody's dressed in military outfits. And those who have followed me know that I've said what these people were doing at these fake Indian schools in military outfits because they went to war and got their citizenship like immigrants. But here's another photo from the Fort Totten, North Dakota. This is they call this a battalion. Yeah. You sent your kids away to a school to learn how to be in a battalion for the United States Army. But regardless of that, looking through government records, or this is actually EDU, this is actually an educational website where I got this from. So you can actually see that these people had to consent. What is this? It's an application for the enrollment in non-reservation schools. Yeah, you had to apply because they'll tell you you were forced. Watch.
The federal government mandated the removal of children from their families and tribes, launching what's called the Federal Indian Boarding School era. Over 150 years span, 150 years, from the early 1800s to 1970.
Calm down, old man. You mean like truancy laws that cause us to be mandated to go to school? Now, does that mandate you to go to boarding school or just school? Does the law say boarding? It must be a boarding school? Or could you have sent them to regular schools? Well, that's why I brought up this form, because there were non-reservation schools and there were reservation schools. Some were non-boarding. What is boarding? Meaning you leave your children there for an extended amount of time instead of actually picking them up every single day. Or you boarding, where they actually stay there in dormitories like a college dorm. But people were actually applying for their kids to go to these schools. So you would apply for it? Now, don't get me wrong. Think about this. We don't necessarily apply for our children to go to grade school. Based upon where you're at, you don't fill out an application, nor do you pay a tuition. You are mandated to send your children to the closest school in their district. They were applying for schools. Don't let them play with the word game and the federal government mandated. Okay, with all the tricks. Okay, no, you applied for it. And on top of that, you gave your consent. And not only did you give your consent as a parent and sign it, you put down there that you were going to have them there for a period of 5 years, as you can see right here. So you signed away to have your child go to another boarding school to be taught by your so-called colonizer, the paleface that you say you don't like. And then when y'all went to these schools, you learned how to fight in wars and be in battalions for them. And I found this information on the Klamath Agency and the Carlisle Indian School website. And the Carlisle Indian School is well known for sending Indians to war. Army, Navy. But let's read a couple of passages from books that I found that show that they were actually paying tuition and agreeing to this stuff. It says, since the inception 58 years ago, more than 4,500 Navajo young people have received 1 or more years in the schooling at St. Michael's, and the construction of a new modern high school building in 1949 with space for over 400 children allows ample opportunity for expansion of the program at this installation. A fraction of the operational cost is borne by the parents of enrolled children through a payment of a tuition of $75 per year for elementary school children and $100 per year for high school children. And what were they doing at the Navajo school? Well, when you look in their yearbook, you'll see more of this funny business and infantries and shit going on. Seems to be a running theme at these schools, that they're getting trained with rifles and put in battalions and infantries. Not just one book said it. This is a book about a Mackinac and Green Bay Indian missions, and it says yes, and for their tuition also $30 a year is the stipulated sum. Many of the today's scholars pay tuition bills regularly. Many of today's scholars pay tuition bills regularly, but they'll cry on stages like this and act like it was the most harshest travesty when you signed the paperwork and paid the tuition. And I can keep going from there, but I'm gonna just leave it at that. The whole boarding school, they forced us. It was a travesty. It's a lot. If anybody was forced, it would have been us. And we went through truancy laws to the closest schools that we had to go to. And if you didn't go, you could be in trouble. Even today, even Kamala Harris tried to use that old ass truancy law on somebody. It's pretty crazy, right? But that's how we were treated. Our parents didn't get consent forms, ma'am, to be able to sit here and send our kids off. Yeah, your mother probably cried because she consented to send her kids off for 5 years and she wasn't gonna see them for a while. I would cry too as a parent. But why are y'all teaching them to be in the Army? Why did you consent for them to be taught stuff in the Army? Whatever. Quit playing.